We have been hearing a lot about various taxes, including VAT, income tax, corporate taxes, etc. But how are these taxes impacting Oman's economy? Welcome to another exciting episode of Insider. To discuss various tax concerns, we have two top officials from Oman Tax Authority. Let me introduce Sayyid Ahmed Al Shanfari, General Manager at 2nd Directorate General of Tax in Tax Authority. Sayyid has more than 20 years of experience in the field. We also have Kifah Mohammed Al Lawati, Tax Specialist at the Tax Authority. Kifah has 15 years experience in different sectors, including 4 years at the Oman Tax Authority. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you. My first question is to Sayyid. What are the type of taxes that we have in Oman today and how it is administered?
Okay. First of all, thank you, Nishad, for having me and my colleague Kifah on this program. Taxes in Oman, it might surprise you, it's been there for more than 50 years. The first income tax was issued in December 1971, so it's more than 50 years. But at that point, it was only mainly for targeting foreign companies and mixed companies until gradually came to all Omani, 100% owned Omani companies in the year 1989 and establishment 1994. So we have the income tax, which mainly it's a direct tax on the gains of profit of any corporate entity. This was from, as I mentioned, from 1971. And then in 2019, we introduced what's called excise tax. And this is, we can define it as indirect tax. It's mainly dependent on the consumption of the consumer of certain goods. So this excise tax targeting what we call harmful goods for the human, like cigarettes, alcohol, carbonated drinks and sweetened drinks. We have with the different rates, like 100% on cigarettes, 100% tax on alcohol, 50% on fuzzy drinks and sweetened drinks, and 100% on energy drinks. The recent tax that came into the picture, it's the value-added tax, and it touched almost all the people living in Oman, because at the end we are consumers as individuals. So everyone was affected by this value-added tax. In principle, it's taxing almost all the goods and services a consumer can receive from a supplier. So this is mainly the three main taxes in Oman. And as the VAT is a new tax to the system, touching a lot of the people, the tax authority tried to keep educating the people about the taxes and the awareness of the taxes so they can comply easily with the tax authority.
Kifah, my question to you, not everyone know about these taxes, so what are the awareness that the Oman Tax Authority is taking in terms of spreading the awareness to the people about these taxes in Oman?
First of all, I would like to thank you for hosting us. Coming back to your questions, Tax Authority in the recent years has implemented a comprehensive public awareness strategies which can be utilized through different channels. If we would say educational outreach program in collaboration with Chamber of Commerce and Industry and SME development authorities, Tax Authority were able to deliver several workshops and seminars designed specially for taxpayers. Also, as most of our population are from younger generation, now we are working to organize with the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Higher Education to introduce the concept of tax to the schools, so the new generation, when they come out to the market, they will be familiar about the taxations, their rights, their obligations. Having said that, in terms of engagement of the public initiatives, I would be happy to say that Tax Authority played a very good role in leveraging the social media platform. Here I would like to pause and say we have our X account, we have our Instagram account, where you can visit and see different posts showing the classifying those kinds of taxes, notify the times of submission the returns, clarify few topics in the about the tax. Beside that, we have a live podcast quarterly held with the tax specialist, where we are having interactions with the public about the taxes and discussion different topics. Yani, having said that, it plays a very good way in spreading awarenesses. Besides, in our premises in Tax Authority, we have a separate dedicated department who's handling any queries or any clarifications, occupied with acknowledged staff to answers and be with help and serving the taxpayers. And we have our hotline 1020, an easy number to be remembered. So all this has really played a good role in spreading the awarenesses among the society and the public and enhance our compliance.
Said, we've been talking now about the value-added tax, which is, like everyone knows about it. It's been, I think, nearly 5 years since it is introduced.
Almost 3 years. 3 years.
And but how has been the response?
The response in terms of the complying with the VAT, of course, with the taxes, even for me as an individual, I might be resistant the first to pay the tax. It's a cost for me, so we expect this kind of behavior, but we try with educate with the benefit of it to overcome those worries about the people. In terms of compliance with the law, like for any law, not just the tax law, the most important is to comply with the law. Take an example, it might be for your passport. If it's expired, maybe the law will say you have to renew it within a month. Yeah, but there's no cost if you don't comply. Until you try to travel, there's no cost. For taxes, no. If you don't comply, there will be a cost. Heavily cost, the taxes, penalties. So it's very important to comply to all taxpayers to comply with the laws. Maybe the main compliance, what we mean by compliance, is to file an accurate and honest return. This is the most important element in complying with the law. It will reduce the cost and your time if you have the accurate figures and numbers of your business, instead of coming and the tax authority sending letters from additional information. So from the first time, if it's accurate, we can approve it, so it's less cost for you and for us even. So this is the importance of the compliance. How do we measure compliance in general? Or not just in Oman, in any tax authority around the world. It's the number of the registered taxpayers and how many taxpayers file their return on time. That's the measurement of the compliance. If we have 90%, that's which is good. If it's less, it might indicate there's something, some problem. We might investigate why they are not complying. If it's less, then it's like a big issue. Usually, as a behavior, we trust that the people are honest, and I think they are trying their best to submit and comply with the law very honestly. However, it's a nature, as there are some good guys, there's a bad guys. There might be some few group of people or the taxpayers that they will try to avoid taxes, but usually we tackle this issue with some best practice mechanism.
Great. Kifah, what is tax evasion? We keep hearing about it. And what are the efforts from the Oman Tax Authority in combating tax evasion?
As any economy, tax evasion will be there. But before going to answer your question, it's good to clarify what's a tax evasion in simple way. Basically, tax evasion is when obligated taxpayers fail or avoid to pay its taxes owed to the government. To achieve such a thing, they are using illegal methods that includes frauds. Just to illustrate more some of the things that they will use it as a method, they will intentionally not submitting their tax declaration for income, VAT, or excise. They will inflate the expenses to show less amount of taxable income, hiding some of the business activities and not showing them as a revenue, not declaring all the bank's accounts that's been used for the business activity. Here I would like to pause a bit. When they are using their personal accounts in the business transactions and mixing between them, it's more preferable to segregate it, use your business accounts, declare those business accounts in your tax returns, and avoid mixing any business transactions with the personal accounts. Plus many others. Those are the main practices that can be classified as tax evasion. Coming to your question, in order to mitigate such practices, we have in the tax authority, we have a dedicated department handled by qualified people who are responsible to investigate, to enforce, to stand answering any queries in terms of tax evasion. Besides, we have a hotline, we have a email for any suspected cases that can be reported by the public or from inside. Also, the tax authority going through many cooperation with local or international bodies in terms of exchanging the data and in order to help in tackling such cases. Beside not forgetting the law by itself, our law in income, VAT, or excise has been classified such activities and has been imposing the penalty and punishments for such activities. And definitely, this is a normal practice that we need to follow and impose it in order to protect our economy and have and collect the right taxes for our government.
Taking from what Kifah said, it's important to protect the economy. So the important question is, how are these taxes affecting Oman's economy and our financial sustainability?
Well, Nishad, it's a good question, and I don't think it's an easy question to answer. But let me put it as a tax policy, it's a major pillar in any fiscal policy for any country, because at the end, it's many countries, the main revenue comes from taxes. Like, thank to God, we have oil and gas revenue, but we know at certain time it might end up. We know that even if it's still there, but the price will go down because of the new renewable energy and electrical cars. So we have to find another source and maintain sustainable sources for the government revenue. So the policy, when we make the policy, we take care of the economy. And not always the tax policy is the main purpose for collecting revenue. It might be to tackle some kind of behavior. As I mentioned with the excise tax, we want to reduce the smokers, alcohol drinkers. And I would like to mention that there is an economist called Dr. Arnold Loofer. He came up with what we call a Loofer curve. He tried to predict what's the maximum revenue any country can get. If it starts from zero rate, if the tax rate is zero, what's the expected revenue? It's zero. If the rate goes to 100%, what's the expected tax revenue? It will be also zero, because there is no point of working and you're paying 100% of your income to taxes. So he's tackling the peak of the curve where the government can get. And basically, some government, when making the policy, will depend on those theories or will take it into consideration. There's what I can say, it's an opposite direction of tax rate and policy and the economy. If you raise tax rates, the power of purchase of people will go down. They will get less money to spend it on purchasing goods. So it might be also bad for the economy. If you reduce tax rate, power of purchase will go up, more spending. It might also make more profit for the companies. They will pay more taxes to the government. A good example of this is in the 1980s, when the President Reagan came to power in USA, he made a major tax cuts, almost from 70% to 28%. By doing this, in 1 month, he raised a new job seeker 500,000, 500,000. So it's not always we have to think about the revenue. We can think about what other aspects of issues we're facing as a government. At the end, this 2040, one of the main targets of the 2040 vision, Oman 20, to have a good revenue from the taxes. Where we will spend it is, of course, the main target is the increase the welfare of all citizens living in Oman. So I think we are going in the right track. The economy is increasing. Taxes it will play a big role in contributing revenue to the state.
And it has been doing well in terms of adding value to the economy. I think, especially when VAT came into force in the last 3 years.
Of course. At the end, as a taxpayer, as an entity, taxes is a cost. You might be willing to pay as long as you are making a profit. You need first the environment to have a business, a good business, and make a profit. A tax is 50%. You will add it as maybe a salary provision. So the main goal, to make a profit, and to achieve those goals for the government, it has to keep reforming, revisiting the policy, studying the market, and we see if there's some changes that we can do, improve the business. Of course, we'll reform it and make any new plans.
So do we have any such plans in the near future?
There is a program that we are working on it, what was called a TAMP. I think Kifah can elaborate on this more. She's a member of the team. And we have, I think, what we can say, a big hope targets from this reform.
So Kifah, what is this tax administration modernization program, which is famously called TAMP? And how it plays in increasing or improving the efficiency of tax or the tax system?
As Mr. Saeed started our session explaining about the different kinds of taxes that we introduce it. So tax authority has been expanded recently, especially in the last 5 years, from having one type of tax, corporate income tax, to VAT and excise tax. So the time comes for tax authority to move to the next level of efficiency. Here where the initiatives of the tax administrative modernization program comes in 2023. The program by itself is a strategic program that aims to increase the compliance and enhance and improve our tax collections. And in order to achieve this, we will be able to achieve the Oman Vision 2040. Also, this program considered to be an opportunity for tax authority to be in line with best practices. It's a major reform program which touch base all aspects of the tax authority, from the strategy, the operation, improving the taxpayers' journey in tax authority. So it's a bit lengthy program that takes from 3 to 4 years. We already started from last year our program. It's split it into phases. We accomplished the first phase, and we are in process of the second phase. And as it's mentioned, the times comes for streamline our process, enhance our database, where the program will tackle all aspects of these reforms.
Do you have any target in place in terms of achieving TAMP?
Yeah, we have, as is mentioned, it's a phase 1 that's finished last year. We have phase 2, which is aimed to finish by August this month. And then we start the phase 3, which is a bit longer duration, that takes the implementation of all the processes and operation aspects and enhance the taxpayer journey.
If I may add, Nishad, as Kifah saying about the reforms, some people they think that reforming it means we having something wrong and now we are making it correctly. No, not at all. It is a very healthy thing to reform tax policy. For example, 10 years back, we used to purchase things, you go to the shop and buy it. These days, it's online.
Yes.
So we need to reform. It's a healthy thing to revisit the policy, reform, and see how the business is behaving, and put our tax policy in line with the business behavior.
So I think within the tax authority itself is also updated about what's happening outside, and you need to keep reforming yourself
all the time, because business change from every 5 years. It's changing. Yes. So we have to cope with those changes.
Yeah, if you allow me as well to add on Mr. Said's point, by improving the efficiency and effectiveness of tax system, we are expecting to increase the trust of the public in our tax system, increase the revenue that we are collecting to the government, and also that over long run puts the Oman in better position in attracting investment and to gain over long run the sustainable economic growth. So it's a healthy program, it's a positive oriented, and we are aiming a lot from this reforming program.
Yeah, and a part of the TAMP program, of course, the tax authority work on other different programs. Maybe the main programs, and even the TAMP are involved, the e-invoice. We are planning to introduce e-invoice system instead of having the paper invoice. Now it will be electronic invoice. It will help us in collecting the data live online very fast, and plus it's helping the environment initiatives that we will reach 2050 with a good environment. So all entities, governments are working together to get up with the I think I might say the 2040 Oman vision.
Yeah. Just to add on, like in the other countries, there is a practice when a customer, we call them customer, or a company, when they keep paying taxes on time, they get this good certificate. So is there any such
rewarding the good taxpayers? Yes. It's one of the points. Yeah, it's one of the points that we have it in. We are discussing it.
They have, like some other countries, they have what they call VIP programs or Gold Club. If you pay on time, it's in I think in 2021 during the COVID-19, we had this similar program. If you file the return on time, you will get a deduction of 1% in tax rate. Yeah, but that was for
that duration.
COVID.
If you delay the tax, you get a fine of 1%.
The fine, yeah. But that, even if it was only for COVID period, now we are studying whether we can have it all the time. Yes. Yeah, for those good taxpayers.
Rewarding the taxpayer. Yes.
So thank you so much for taking your time and talking to us. It's been a while. Actually, we wanted to talk in detail about the tax concerns in Oman, because we keep getting questions from our subscribers and readers.
Well, thank you, Nishad, for having me, and maybe final word to the audience, the taxpayers. Please file your return on time, pay your taxes on time, be a good taxpayer, and we are there to.
Yeah, it's the same message. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This is the main message to increase our compliance.